second video in our series on using GarageBand and Audacity and other multi-track recording programs to work with SJW's virtual combo files. Using a program like Audacity to work with the virtual combo files is a great way to get the most out of these amazing projects. So let's dive in. Go to your Google Classroom, the Classwork tab, and that's where you'll find all of the virtual combos that are available in your Stanford Jazz Online class. The first folder you'll see contains the play-along files, which are complete mixes of the song, but missing just one part. Use these files when you just want to download something quickly and practice along with it. Make sure you download the PDF music from the PDF charts folder as well. The faculty solos mixes folder contains complete mixes of each song with a different faculty soloist featured in each one. Then here's the stuff you came for, the Audacity file. Just open this folder, click on the download link, and once the file is downloaded to your hard drive, just double click on the AUP file, that's with the suffix AUP, and the file should open up automatically in Audacity. That's assuming you already have Audacity installed. When the virtual combo project opens up in Audacity, it looks like this. The first thing I like to do when I open an Audacity project is I like to get the track window sized properly and the track heights sized. The first thing I do is click on the zoom tool so that the song takes up the entire width of my screen. That way it's easy for me to see where the melody is, where the solos are, and where the background tracks are, and where the end of the song is. Then I like to get a sense of how many tracks there are. So I will either click on each track on the collapse triangle that's in the lower left corner of each track header, or easier and quicker, I'll go to the View menu and select Track Size, and then collapse all tracks. That automatically makes all the tracks the same size, very tiny, but it's a great way to get an overview of the entire project. One thing you can do with Audacity that's a really helpful practice tool is to loop particular sections. I like to loop the melody section so I can practice part 1, part 2, or part 3 of the arrangement over and over again until I really get it under my fingers and I can even memorize it. The way to do that is to put your cursor in the upper left of the timeline and then drag across as far as you like, and that creates a little gray arrow. The loop will start playing automatically, but you want to do one more thing, and that's to go to the transport window, select play region, and lock. That means that the loop section will turn a red arrow and it'll just play over and over and over again until you stop the controls. Next, I'd like to tell you about several really easy to use but very important controls that you can use to really streamline and simplify and organize your time working with your multi-track files. First, expand one of the tracks so that you can see the mute and solo buttons, the volume control, and the pan control in the track header. You can either click on the expand triangle in the lower left of the track header, or with your cursor, drag the bottom edge of the track and it'll also expand. When you select the mute button, that particular track becomes grayed out and it will no longer sound when you play. This is really useful for choosing which solo you want to hear, because each track not only includes bass, drums, and piano parts, but it includes a piano solo track and it includes the 3-horn tracks, each with a separate solo track. Now, you don't want those solos to play all the time together, so just mute the 2 that you don't want to hear and you'll hear the solo that you want to hear. Also, when you are ready to record your own tracks, mute the part that you are replacing. That way you don't hear it and you'll sound like you're part of the band. The second important control is the solo button. When you push the solo button, that particular track will be the only track you hear. This is really handy when you want to isolate a track and really practice along with it. It's also a good way to be able to focus on how great the faculty soloist is. You can listen to additional tracks by clicking on their solo buttons as well. I wouldn't do this with more than 2 other tracks. You want to keep this simple. The volume control is also here in the track header, and it's the control that most people think you use when you want to create a mix or a different balance of the instruments. I say don't touch the volume control unless you really need to. There's another tool that you can use right underneath it that will help you to achieve a really clear sounding balance and mix. And this is the pan tool. The pan tool lets you place a particular instrument or track sound anywhere from your left ear to your right ear or anywhere in between. For example, with the 3 horns in this arrangement, you could put part 1 right in the center, part 2 30 degrees to the left, part 3 30 degrees to the right, and when you play it, you'll hear a really nice clarity in the horn section. When you're ready to record your own parts, add a new track by going to the Tracks menu, Add New, and select stereo or mono tracks. That will automatically create a new track for you. And here's a tip. Click on the name of the track and then select Name from the menu that appears, and type in a name for the track that means something to you so you can always easily find it. When you start working with multi-track files, it's really easy to suddenly have so many tracks and you can't remember what you recorded into this one, what you recorded into that one. But if you're really careful with the track names, you can really save a lot of time. Before you record, select the microphone or input source from this menu here, and select the output or what you're using to listen to the track from this menu here. Now, when you're recording and listening back to tracks that are already recorded, you really need to be using headphones or earbuds, because you don't want to be playing the sound of the pre-recorded tracks live in the room while you're recording the sound of your instrument also live in the room. You can get feedback problems, and it just sounds nasty when you record all that together. You want to isolate the sound of the pre-recorded tracks by listening through headphones or earbuds. Once you're happy with what you've recorded and you want to save it as an MP3 file so you can upload it as an assignment to your Stanford Jazz Online class, or just email it to a friend and share it, go to the File menu and select Export, Export as MP3. Name the file, save it where you want, get ready to upload it to your class. Congratulations, you're on your way to becoming an expert in multi-track recording.